I was getting ready to go rock climbing with my boyfriend, and I fell 60 feet.
I came out from in front of that stopped car, and that car going around, just we met.
We met.
And
I like that.
I was
We met.
thrown onto the hood and rolled off the side of the hood, landing mostly on the top of my shoulders and the back of my head.
There was a Jeep that was going 80 miles an hour. My mom tried to go around it, and then the Jeep hit the car, and we spun like 3 times.
I was house sitting, and I was grabbing some cat food out of the bottom of a refrigerator. And so I was on my hands and knees reaching into the back, and a bottle of wine just fell off from above the refrigerator, and it just hit me in the back of my head.
But it was peculiar, and not remembering everything that went on, it's hard to come to grips with that sometimes.
I was out for a little bit, I think probably only minutes, I'm not sure exactly how long, and I just couldn't figure out what to do. I didn't know how to clean up a mess, and so that made me feel really panicked, because I was like, you know how to clean up a mess, why don't you know how to clean up a mess? And I was just so flustered, and then I was like, I have things that I'm supposed to be doing. Where am I supposed to be? Where do I need to go?
I tried to find some pictures from days gone by. And a couple might spark your memory.
Oh, around the campfire.
Yep. And who is that young man right there?
That looks like me with hair.
You remember? Does it bring any memories back for you?
No.
If you meet one person with a brain injury, you've met one person with a brain injury. And so everyone's different because everybody's brain's different. And everyone's brain injury is different. So if you think about the brain as the thing, the computer that runs everything. So your motor control, your behavior, your emotions, all of it. Often a commonality is difficulty remembering things, new information. A little bit slower with mental processing, more easily overwhelmed. Frustration is often something that I see as common. I think the one commonality, though, is that I've seen, and I'm careful because not everyone will agree, I would say a lack of I would say loneliness. There's also a resiliency that to me is unbelievable. If you imagine your life of waking up and not really having a good understanding of what happened the day before, because it's just not there. You know, those cells are not firing. And so, living your life that way, and then people that you meet expecting you to remember, or expecting you to be different because you look normal, maybe even act normal, whatever normal is. That's what I'm passionate about, is helping people establish relationships and not being alone.
We have lived in these apartments since '97 for about 25 years. We were part of a brain injury group at the hospital on Center Street, and I had seen him there, and then they did a brain injury conference at the hospital, and he was talking about wanting to move into an apartment, and I was living in an apartment by myself, but I was getting sort of bored. I wanted a roommate. He's the cook. Well, I like to say he's the cook on the, let's see here. I'm the brains, he's the muscle, and the cook. And so it's just how it affected us. It's like I might have permanent left side paralysis, but my brain works pretty good. We like his brain. Just doesn't always work as well as we would want it to.
So Isabel, with the SNAP benefits, how will that help you? What will that do for you?
It will help me with the money I get received from Social Security to be more focused on myself so I can move out and I could live a decent life on my own without depending so much on my family. Before my car accident, like, I just do my own things. Like, and that was God. So it's true.
People with brain injuries, I think, struggle to know, what do I do? And there's no one phone number, no place you can call really to find out. And then if you do find out, to access those resources, to fill out a form or, like the SNAP benefit form. Well, if you have a hard time talking and you have a hard time paying attention or remembering or processing information because you have a brain injury, then who's going to do that with you? And if the family doesn't know how, then you wind up not having the resource. That's true with housing, with food, with insurance, with all kinds of things. And then what we do in our system is we kind of throw things at people. They need this, they need that. And what's left out is this piece of like, what do they want? And how do they discover what their potential is? And so we call that agency. Sense of self, sense of self-purpose. That's very, very important. And that, to me, is the key to help people through the rest of their life. It really attacks this thing that we've talked about called loneliness. And really trying to help people with brain injuries learn how to advocate for themselves, to find their voice.
I, Brenda, Beza, Arnie, Mary, man, Beza, no.
You really want to tell me something right now?
Yes.
And you're having a hard time coming up with that word.
Yes. Yes.
It's hard sometimes.
No, yeah.
My stroke, I have aphasia, so everything changes all the time. Sometimes my brain works, and sometimes it doesn't. So yeah, interesting. You never know what's coming out of my mouth.
Yeah, it's difficult to know what your brain's going to do. Yeah, that can be challenging for you. Make life a little interesting for you and maybe people around you.
Definitely. We've all had to learn how to advocate for ourselves.
Yeah.
Because people look at us and go, oh, you're just a brain injury. You can't make up your own mind. You can't do this. But you know what? We're very smart. We know what's in our mind. We know how that, and if we don't advocate for ourselves or others, then the system is just going to put us down and down and down.
And yet, the one brain injury person they knew maybe couldn't do those things, but every brain injury is different.
Exactly.
And it's amazing how we're different.
What do you need?
Say the words again.
What do you need?
What do I need?
One thing that can make your life better today. What would it
I think there's two words.
Yeah.
Friends and support.
So friends and support, that's great. What else?
No, it's friends and family. For me, it's friends and family.
Acceptance.
You want to be accepted for who you are. Yeah, okay.
And accepting of others.
I would say for everyone that we know we need love.
Love.
Is number one thing.
To be loved or give love?
That's in life, period. So
Do you need to be
you
loved or do you need to give love?
both. I need people's love.
Not being judged.
Yeah.
No
No
judgment.
Okay, so does that mean like when somebody doesn't do something the way they're supposed to do it, then that's when the judgments start?
Yeah, because we look capable, but sometimes we're not always capable.
Yeah.
Who sets that expectation?
Society.
Sometimes that's ourselves, you know? Sometimes we expect that we can do something, but then we realize we can't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely you could look at me and say, like, she doesn't have a brain injury. She looks completely like, normal is overrated, but she looks completely like a regular person. So you definitely wouldn't know that I have a brain injury without, like, asking me or me telling you, like, my story.
And then I lost all my schooling that I'd had at the university I was going to, and I forgot how to read. And so, fun just trying to learn all those things again. And it's just sort of how it affected each of us.
So yeah, really now the biggest thing is just I'm really aware of how I budget my time, and if that goes well, things don't flare up. If it doesn't go well, then I still get headaches, I still get tired. Sometimes when I'm really at the end of my limit, I will be more emotional or start crying if I have a lot of decisions I have to make. You know, before I was really focused on my career and like what I wanted as far as working went. And so when things came up with family, I'd be like, oh, I'll do that eventually. Like, oh, I can't go on this camping trip, I'll go next year. But now it's kind of like, you know, if they ask you to go do something, you gotta go do it now because you don't know.
My experience is really when you get down to the heart with somebody and you have you can have a heart conversation with them. The tragedy is remembering how they were before. Right? And so, and they're not that, and they know they're not gonna be. So that's hard. Any support group meeting you go to, I love listening because they always want to tell their story. And often I've been doing this a long time, so it's like I've asked, why do you want to tell your story? Yeah, because I want people to know that this is why I am. Yeah. I don't know, in a utopian brain injury society, people wouldn't have to maybe tell their stories so much. I don't know. It's all right with me if that helps them. But it's hard because your mind remembers the way it was. And then after that, what happens? Because that's really I think that's really most important because that's the rest of your life.